While we're setting up, somebody who was on the parikrama dropped a set of keys. If it's found, please take it down to the, take it here to the book counter, please.
So, should we start? Jai Prabhupada Jai, Prabhupada Jai, Prabhupada Jai, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada Jai, Prabhupada Jai, Prabhupada Jai, Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakate Satma Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakate Satma Pandamo Savadana Mate Pandamo Savadana Mate Yahara Prasade Pai Ebhavatorya Jai Yahara Prasade Pai Ebhavatorya Jai Krishna Prapti Haya Haite Krishna Prapti Haya Haite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Korya Aikya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Korya Aikya Ana Koriyamane Asha Ana Koriyamane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttamagati. Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttamagati. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Chakudana dila jai janme Prabhu se. Chakudana dila jai janme Prabhu se. Debya ganre de prakasita. Debya ganre de prakasita. Prema bhakti jate avijavinasha jate. Prema bhakti jate avijavinasha jate. Vedega jahara charita. Vedega jahara charita. Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Banda. Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Banda. Lokanath Lokarajivana. Lokanath Lokarajivana. Ha Prabhu Karada Damore Padacha. Ha Prabhu Karada Damore Padacha. Ebejasko Suchibovana. Ebejasko Suchibovana. Ha Prabhu Karada Damore Padacha. Ha Prabhu Karada Damore Padacha. Dua Pade Lolo Sharana. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutane Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Samaniti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavade Paschachadesha Tarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gabhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gabhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Well, I don't know. I don't do that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol, Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Mr. Pad, Parnamahang's a part of Rajak Shires, Studies Sismad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Anantakoti Vaishnava Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Se Gohar Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Ki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki, Shri Mayapur Dham Ki, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Shri Radha Radhanath Ki, Shri Radha Damodar Ki, Kartik Vrata Ki, Shri Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Gopremanande. All glories to the sum of devotees, all glories to the sum of devotees, all glories to the sum of devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Oh, when did I last see you? A while ago.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'd like you all to take your seats. We're going to ask you to please clear this front row. Mataji who's sitting here on the seat. We're going to ask our senior devotees to be seated there. If you can manage on the floor, please do so. Hare Krishna. And we also want you to make some space for those who are sitting on the chair so they have leg room. So you can come forward. A little bit more, I'm sure. Come forward. Can we ask like for 50 centimeters? Sadhika, come. There's space here, come forward. Also, Maharaj has asked that nobody be seated here. So please find a chair there. There's more chairs going to be in the back. We have some elderly people here. Allow them to sit on the chair if they are youngsters sitting on the chair. So Gandharvika Mataji, you please come to the front there. Hare Krishna, we need space, leg room for there. Come forward. Gandharvika Mataji. Akinchana Mataji is here. Radhanath Mataji, where are you? So needed there. Mataji, Hare Krishna, you find a chair behind you. Shri Murti Mataji, where are you? Please come forward to this front row. These chairs here are not available. Hare Krishna, find a chair behind the first row. Akinchana Mataji, you're sitting there on that row.
I'm going to find her later. She's in the room.
It's all right. Maharaj is going to start. They knew about it. Thank you so much for assembling here this morning on this very special Sunday Love Feast program, which is our second day of the 40th anniversary celebrations here in Durban. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki. So we have a very interesting program this morning, which is going to be coordinated by His Holiness Bhakti Briyat Bhagavat Swami Maharaj. And it's in the style of a kind of a interview. But before we do that, somebody may be struggling because we found a pair of spectacles. So if it's yours, please see me for it. Okay? So I have it with me in my pocket, and then you can get it. And we also found a set of keys in the parikram, and it's left at the book table if you're looking for that. I'm sure you will be.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Sound is lower, soft.
Nash Prabhu, if you can hear us, turn up Maharaj's mic.
Can you turn this up? Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshudun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Sound is okay? It's good. Yeah. So for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I joined in 1983, and my first year I spent at our farm in Cateridge, and subsequently in 1984 I was requested to come here at this construction site and engage in some services at that time. So I requested for this particular program with the management, and they overwhelmingly agreed, in the sense that this particular program is to honor and appreciate and speak about the devotees who are prior to the 40th anniversary in relation to this temple, how it came about, and so forth. I have as many names with me, practically about 35 names or so enlisted here. And the reason why it's a little raised, the stage, is because I've noticed that generally when we sit on chairs, we cannot see the audience, and the audience cannot see the speakers. So I requested for this, and also especially with our Srila Prabhupada in our midst here. So I'm going to facilitate the program, and we're going to request devotees to come, whoever is requested to come and sit here and also speak. And with the devotees themselves who are requested to come and speak, I'm going to, when I hold my danda like this, that means you have 1 minute to wind up. And the speaker is going to see it. Is that okay? We're not running late, but a little late. And we may go through some part of the arti when at the end His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami will walk us through some amazing photographs from the construction and so forth of this temple, and various devotees are within that also, and he's going to comment on them. So he will get about maybe 15 minutes or so, if it's possible to move it in that way. The others are restricted to 5 minutes. Now, there's a clock there, but it's still a long way. I don't have a watch, so I need some watch with me, and borrow yours. So we'll have to keep to the time for the speakers. Please help us with that. Otherwise, my danda will do the speaking, not me. It's just that we have limited time. Yeah. So when the arti begins around 12:30, that is also running a little late because of the nice pushpa outfit, a flower outfit is coming up. So that's running a little late, I just heard now. And then there's the pushpa abhishek after the arti. So if it runs about 10 or 15 minutes late, even when the arti itself, that's fine. It's a special day, special occasion on the 40th anniversary of the opening of the Sri Sri Radhanath temple and the installation of Sri Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Sri Sri Radhanath ki. Yeah. Okay. So I've categorized these names into 3 sections. One is those who have passed on, and the other is some members of the congregation, and then those who are present but not present in South Africa, and those who are in our midst, but some of them were invited, but due to other things they couldn't make it for now. So let me begin. First, we'd like to welcome His Grace Shudi Prabhu, one of our chief guests here, and he has been with us for 10 days or so now. Yeah, about 10 days. And he's spoken in many programs already. Yeah. And then we welcome His Grace Shutakiti Prabhu, well known, with his Dharampatni, Vishaka, she's somewhere? Yeah, Vishaka can come and sit in the front. There's chairs for her if she wants. But she's also welcome. Let's say Hare Krishna for these amazing guest devotees with us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And is the first generation of devotees from Srila Prabhupada who were initiated by Srila Prabhupada, all legends in their own right. And in our midst, senior most in terms of joining an initiation is His Grace Ramanuja Acharya Prabhu Ki Jai. And then His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami is with us. And His Grace Medhavi Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Am I missing out anyone for now, the seniors? Smita Krishna Prabhu? All right. So, at the very outset, we are missing His Grace Shyamlal Prabhu. And together with Shyamlal Prabhu, there's another devotee named Tribanga Sundar Prabhu, who's also well known. And they had the program those days in relation to collecting funds to build this temple called ICAP. ICAP means Indian Community Affairs Program. And these two principal devotees were responsible for that. Yeah. Shyamlal Prabhu was more responsible in cultivating especially the Gujarati community. And he cultivated them so much to the extent that several of them became initiated devotees. Like we have Harinamananda in Lanesia, we have Yamuna Acharya here, and in the Eastern Cape chapter with Maheshwar Prabhu and Purushottam Prabhu and so many others. And that was Shyamlal's preaching. He just didn't collect money, which he was good at. Very good at, and at the same time he cultivated all these personalities, Gujarati people who became regular initiated devotees. It's amazing. So I would like to request his Patni, and Srimurti, if she can share some words with us about her illustrious Pati, Shyamlal Prabhu. Please come. Oh, she has access already. Come to. You can put it like this, microphone like this. Yeah. Turn it a little.
I've done something, but it's okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My respectful obeisances to the Maharajas and the senior Vaishnavas.
Can you pick up the sound, please?
I had the great fortune of joining the Caterridge Temple in 1977 through the 10th campaign of Parthasarathi Maharaj.
Jai Parthasarathi Maharaj ki.
In the early days, there weren't many devotees, but there were a lot of services. We were given different types of services, such as preaching and book distribution, going on Harinam Sankirtan in the cities of Durban and Pietermaritzburg. We even had to scout the vegetable markets. On a Friday, humbly collecting the boga for the Lord and for the devotees. It was never glamorous, but it was sacred. We even had to enter the race course, pinning flowers onto people, not just flowers, but invitations to Krishna consciousness. And on days that we went on Sankirtan, we had temple services, such as cooking and taking care of Nitai Gaura Hari. And now, decades later, I can honestly say that this is a living offering built from Sankirtan and sacrifices. To me, this is not only a celebration, it's a reminder of all the sacrifices of all those devotees who were involved in the past, for the present, and for the future. One soul I must honor today is my dear husband, Shamlal Prabhu. He dedicated himself to preaching to the Indian community across South Africa and making life members. His service was not just fundraising, but faith-raising. Today, he may not be here physically, but his service lives on in every corner of this temple. This temple belongs to all of us, to those who gave a brick or their whole lives, to those who went out to those who went out, or to those who held together behind the scenes. All glories to Sri Sri Radhanath, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Grace Srimati Mataji ki. Now there's one important thing she didn't say. Today is the anniversary of Shamlal Prabhu's appearance day. I'm sure we have special cakes for that for the occasion also. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Can somebody help? Help Mataji. Some other devotees were passed on who were involved with this project. This devotee was one of the temple presidents in Caterridge Temple previously, and he also served as a head pujari here after Mahavidya Prabhu. And we are remembering Bimala Prasad Prabhu. And I believe Gauravani, his good wife, is Australia, somewhere? In Australia? She lives in Australia. So Bimal Prasad Prabhu ki. Yeah. Then our first head pujari was here. There may be some photos of him on the slides when His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami will run us through later on. His name is Mahavidya Prabhu, and his good wife, Mother Jayasta, also was here, involved with him in the pujari department. Mahavidya Prabhu ki. Yeah. And then one of our past temple presidents here, but a manager of the, you could say, little factory we had in Mildersdrift, which I'll discuss later about that, in terms of frames and in terms of paintings and stock, that actually helped build this temple more than anything else in terms of fundraising and money. We'll discuss that a little later. And we also miss his nice association and friendly association and welcoming association. His Grace Shutikiti Prabhu Ki. And then recently one of our devotees who was in Caterich but also helped especially here with the Food for Life program, His Grace Bindu Madhava Prabhu Ki, together with Gopi Baba Mataji. His good wife is late now, several years. And for me, she was one of the best cooks in the international ISKCON. Gopi Baba Mataji Ki. And then one of our very early congregation members, and maybe he was just one of 2 or 3, who was initiated in the late 80s, before they could actually start initiating devotees from the congregation in the late 90s. And he was responsible as our secretary for our life membership program, also keeping book stocks for us. And his name is Bhagavat Seva Prabhu, who recently passed on. Bhagavat Seva Prabhu Ki. And we're also remembering Mataji, Bhagavat Seva's good wife. Her name is Mother Prema Bhakti. Mother Prema Bhakti Ki. So in that way, we'd like to send a gift for them of Srila Prabhupada's ultimate video, which I have produced in the last 2 or 3 years, copyrighted with ISKCON Television and ISKCON Cinema with Nishigananda Prabhu, Yadubar Prabhu and Vishaka Mataji. And we have compiled this and we want to forward this to Mother Prema Bhakti as our appreciation. Where is Devadeva Prabhu? Can't see. On the altar, Prabhu. So would like to forward this to Mother Prema Bhakti. She may not be with us today. Spirit Krishna. So keep this with you safe. This is the appreciation from the management of Prabhupada Vapu. All the videos of Prabhupada. There's over 70 videos with 58 hours of footage. All the original videos are there. Some of you may already have it, which I had gifted earlier. Yeah. He was one of our early congregation members who was also initiated previously. Then one of my gurus, before I joined, who taught me in primary school. And then I paid him back by teaching his daughter in primary school. And that's His Grace Prabha Vishnu Prabhu. And with his also good Patni, wife, Mother Prema Bhakti, both of them have left us now. And I'm also remembering another devotee, his younger brother named Surya Narayan Prabhu. He's also late, together with Mir Nalini and their children. So we'd like to send 2 gifts for them, to Prabhu Vishnu's children at least, and Surya Narayan to Mir Nalini. Who can take this for us? She's in Johannesburg. Come. You know her? Mir Nalini. Please take it. You in Johannesburg, come and take it. And for Renal and so forth. And the children stay here or Johannesburg. So you'll forward this to them. Thank you. His Grace Prabhu Vishnu Prabhu Ki. His Grace Prema Bhakti Mataji Ki. His Grace Surya Narayan Prabhu Ki. His Grace Mir Nalini Mataji Ki. Yeah. And then just to mention that he is the middle brother of Prabhu Vishnu is still with us, Nareshwar Prabhu, and also his good wife, Vijaya Lakshmi Mataji. Are they with us here today? No. So these devotees, together with, one more devotee I'll mention, His Grace Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and he personally got permission from His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami eventually to expand the bulk festival kitchen. Maharaj blessed him with that service because he may have had some little bit challenges to get it, but he's really wanted to do that. And he personally collected the funds and got this. There's a major kitchen down there, festival kitchen, and also it also serves food for life. And the expansion of that with that money was personally collected by Advaita Acharya Prabhu and his family. And you know, he was the Acharya for that kitchen also, in so many ways. And all our Sunday feasts were cooked there, besides the devotee kitchen, the daily one. So he's there. So we're remembering him. And also Mataji is here, Mother Gandharvika, his Patni, who's here. Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki, Mother Gandharvika ki. Thank you for being with us. So these devotees, they joined anything between 1978 to 1980. They were our initially very first congregation, practically joined before me, several years before me also. We'd like to honor them. Of course, I may not mention everyone because it's difficult, because we're just restricted to the names prior to the temple opening, and these are the significant families for now. If there's any other names I'm omitting, you can please write it in a piece of paper, give it to Smita Krishna Prabhu, we can mention them. We have exhausted our, it's a memory, remembering whoever it was. So please excuse us if some name is not there and omitted. This is prior to 1985. Okay. Something? You can, how will they text? They know you know. How will they know that? Okay. It's just that we don't want anyone to feel not appreciated and offering our gratitude to them. Okay. Now, in our midst, we have our senior most devotee in consciousness and in age. And I have been associating with him since the past 43 years since I joined. And he's such an amazing personality that his consciousness is crystal clear in Krishna consciousness. So we'd like him to come and share some words of wisdom, and he is 95 years young. His Grace Sevakunj Prabhu, please come. And he joined us in 1979 during the legendary 10th campaign preaching of His Grace Parthasarati Das Goswami, right there in Sapingo. Come, let's chant for our senior most, I wouldn't say citizen, but member of the Hare Krishna family. His Grace Sevakunj Prabhu ki jai. Let's chant loudly for him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. No. Oh, Prabhupada, okay. Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Because when he sees me, he always does this to me, so I thought, okay, Prabhupada is here. So Sevakunj Prabhu, you know, you can see this danda, right? Let's see. He's senior to me in so many ways, it's hard. Please bless us all.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I wish to extend to one and all of you, all the Matajis, the Prabhus, the dear children, a very warm welcome to this important festival. Also, I wish to extend to the organizing committee and the temple management a very, very big thank you for hosting this wonderful event. I wish to thank my dear Lord Krishna. I thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for blessing and mercy. Thank you for taking care of all of us, taking care and maintaining us and protecting us. But the greatest thanks goes to our dear, wonderful Srila Prabhupada, who has brought Krishna consciousness not only to South Africa 50 years ago, but throughout the world. The six globes. And we must thank every one of you for making this function a very successful one. Prabhupada came to South Africa after training many countries, and he came here, established this wonderful Krishna conscious movement. He also asked the devotees to erect a temple here. And today, 40 years ago, we have the Sri Radhanath temple. And as a result, we are here. Otherwise, without Prabhupada's mercy and his blessing, we will not be able to assemble here, associate with one another, become one great family. I joined the movement many years back, and how I joined it was a miracle. I used to go into town every month. That time, the Back to Godhead magazine used to be published every month. And I used to buy and study, and that is what made me Krishna consciousness. And beside that, the 10 campaign initiated by our Guru, who is not here today. He is ill, and as a result, he is not here. For 15 years, he spearheaded the 10 campaign. He used to go to every district, every village, every town, every city, campaigning for people to become Krishna conscious. He used to sleep on the stage and under the stage every night. And in the morning he used to have a cold water shower.
Hose pipe.
We regret him today that he is not present to share this wonderful event with us. Besides that, I was able to help in the deity kitchen, in the Rath Yatra. At those times, all the Namahatas used to get together a week before the commencement of the Rath Yatra. They used to clean vegetables, carrots, cabbages, potatoes, all that was necessary for making the preparation for prasadam was prepared by the devotees. Our devotees, the members of the Namahatas, used to wake up 1 in the morning, day of the Rath Yatra, and see that the prasadam is ready for midday. This was those times. But today, we haven't got those Namahatas. We must all get together and be united in in pushing Prabhupada's movement. Some of us, we are very sorry that some of us have fallen down from the movement. Some of them thinking that Prabhupada only gave us ABC, but Prabhupada has given everything. Not only ABC, but A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. He gave everything to the devotee. Some of the we might say that we have lost Prabhupada, but he is always with us. To give up Prabhupada and to give up ISKCON, we mustn't do that. We must be always associated with Prabhupada. Because once devotee went to Prabhupada and told, my dear Prabhupada, you are here to give us everything now. But what will happen to you when you are not here? Prabhupada said, just read my book. Just here I'm speaking through my books and everything will be revealed to you. So we must be always conscious. We must associate with the devotees and we must walk shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, and move and make this Prabhupada's house, his organization, a very powerful organization. And one thing I must tell you, that many of our great devotees, our spiritual masters have passed away. But they are helping all the devotees throughout the world. Today we got many youngsters, sannyasis, who are brilliant, who are the future commander-in-chief of Prabhupada's army. Prabhu, time is over. I can't go. I had to say many other things, but sorry, we will meet up again. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Seva Kunj Prabhu ki, Ananta Godi Vaishnav Vranda ki. So Seva Kunj, please bless everyone with long life and also with good health, especially me. Thank you very much. One of our very earliest devotees from the congregation who joined us in 1978. And he and his illustrious family, they have been doing so many services, including even before the construction could be started in this temple, when they first came to Cato Ridge. And that is Her Grace Mother Panchali and His Grace Srinathji Prabhu. Please come and share some memories with us, especially in relation to our 40th anniversary in relation to Radhanath Temple. And they are well known, the entire family, for their photography. And their photography is going to be displayed here with His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami walking us through later on. From the photos will be there. Please come, Srinathji Prabhu. Everyone, let's chant for Srinathji Prabhu loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And I believe he's 82 years young. What is that? 82 years young. 80 years young. This week is his appearance day. Please sit. Please, please. He normally doesn't speak. He's busy taking photos and doing so many other services with his family. He told me he wanted 15 minutes, but I told him a little lesser than that.
Dear Maharajas, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Sri Radha Radhanath. And to our senior Srila Prabhupada devotees, I pray for your blessings. Well, early in around 1978, 77, I was in Grey Street by Papatlal Kara. And I met the devotees doing Harinam, which attracted me to the Krishna conscious movement. Thereafter, I went to the 10 program in Unit 3, where I met Partha Maharaj. Well, I spoke to Partha Maharaj, and I told him that I would like to start the 10 campaign in Isapingo. Well, he told me, if you can get the site, get the tent, and get the sponsorship, I will gladly come. Thereafter, I went to Ketorich Temple. I met some very good devotees like Gokul Handradas, Tulsi, Rajaram, Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, and Partha Maharaj again. Well, we started the Namahata in Sapingo, and first I started distributing agarbatti and books and the Hare Krishna newsletter at the yearly Easter program at the Sapingo temple. We had a table and we had also a tin that we are collecting for this temple. All these contributions went to Ketorich, and eventually the Ketorich temple at the first Krishna Ashtami which we attended. After the groundbreaking ceremonies at the Sri Sri Radha Radhanath, where the 6-meter hole was dug, the Ananda Shesh, where the current deities are presiding at the bottom, there was gold buried there. And I took the photographs.
Jai.
From there, eventually, the tent program came to Spingo. I managed to get the tent, the chairs, the sound system, and Maharaj brought the tent campaign to Spingo. In the tent campaign, we had the fancy dress parade, which was very attractive to the local Indian community, which was mostly Indians. As Maharaj mentioned, many of the senior devotees, even Swayvik Kunj Prabhu, also joined from the tent campaign. I should go early on a Sunday morning in my old jalopy car, go to Ketorich, in the misty roads on the highway. Thereafter, gravel road to the Ketorich temple, pick Gopramanamanda and bring him to Sapingo to do the Namahata. The Namahata grew, and after the program, I should take him to the Malagasy program, and the Malagasy Namahata also was established. And I'm very, very grateful to have this association, especially with all the senior devotees who inspired me. And Partha Maharaj became very close to me. And he came to my studio where we did the Hare Krishna first newsletters. I took pictures of him in my studio. He was acting as a bogi yogi. And even came with a black fowl to my studio. And this was published and distributed. And in the tent cabin, we had the world of Hare Krishna, where it was run on a 16 millimeter projector on a screen. This also attracted it. At that stage, there were no TVs. And the people, the Indian community, was attracted to come and see the cinema. Thereafter, the temple began construction. After me covering the construction at the various stages, I photographed the construction stages. Then I was nominated as the official photographer for the temple opening. On the opening day, I was taken, before the opening day, I witnessed the Mahabhishek and the eyes opening ceremonies of the deities. The deities were buried on the floor in a box with rice. And the Mahayagya was done by the pujaris from Sridham Mayapur. And eventually the devotees was installed outside. Then it was Srila Prabhupada's eyes opening ceremony, and which I clearly visualize, that was also done on stage with the ecstatic kirtan by Bhakti Tirtha Swami and our late Shamlal Prabhu, who was very instrumental in my life as well. He came to me on a regular basis and to my family. On the opening day, I was taken to Virginia Airport, and ISKCON television networks, Siddhanta and Nishingananda, who flew all the way from America. I was given the task to be with them. I was taken to Virginia Airport, where I got onto a chopper with them, the helicopter. And that was my first step on the air. We flew. And as we approached Chatsworth, it was 100,000 people. It was a roadblock, traffic jam. The whole of Higginson's Highway, all leading to one destination, the grand opening of Sri Sri Radha Radhanath temple.
Haribol.
As the helicopter circled around the temple, at this time, it was analog. It was film camera. I had a Pentax camera with no autofocus. Today, everybody's got a cell phone and the professional cameraman. And I had the Hitachi video camera machine, which had to take a big videotape. And I was filming, leaving the camera down, and trying to get the best shots. With the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Sri Radha Radhanath, which I achieved.
And one of those photographs are going to be on the screen later on, where Maharaj will take us through aerial photos.
And I've got limited time, and as we came to the temple, and it was the cutting of the Rumit ceremony, Srila Prabhupada went 3 times on a palanquin around the moat with the ecstatic kirtan, the kartals, the conch shells, and the ribbon was at the entrance of the temple. I proceeded with my camera, I was on the other side, with the assistance of my wife Panchali. I was doing the video and she shot the picture.
Jai. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Gauri Vaishnava Vrindi ki. So we're going to move along with the program. They're not going to use the bell for arti, and we'll see how it moves along. In a sense. Maharaj? Okay. Yeah. Yes. But there's a lot more to cover here, so I don't know. Yeah. All right. Can you just bless us?
And
with
then
the
cutting
one-
off the ribbon, it was J. N. Reddy, the late Raj Bansi, Prince Butulezi, and Bhagwan. They cut the ribbon with the conch shell. And I was the first walking through the doors and taking the pictures. I turned around
Jai.
and I shot the deities. I clicked on the deities. And that memory of mine lived on and on. That was my inspiration. Srila Prabhupada, Sri Radhanath, and that inspired me. I covered every festival for the past 40 years. And recently, time and again, I flew to India for many times. And in conclusion, this year, I was so fortunate. I also was present at the opening Legacy Museum of Srila Prabhupada in Srila Maipur. And I also did the Lord Nishingadev ceremony in the wings of the temple of the various planetarium. And this happened to all by the grace of Srila Prabhupada and the Lordship C.C. Radhanath. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Srinathji Prabhu ki. We're also remembering a family, but especially the mother of the family. And she was, you could say, in so many ways, offering major services for the legendary 10 campaign by His Holiness Parthasarati Das Goswami. She was famously known as Mrs. Bobby. How many of you remember her? Mrs. Bobby, yes. And she later got initiated as Mother Dukhi Radha Devi Dasi. So let's chant for Dukhi Radha Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. A special service besides coming and doing humble services here was to give us the tents, the marquees and the chairs and so forth whenever we needed them. She had that business with them. I'm going to move along. Yep. Now, some of the devotees who are present with us in the world, but not today here, is one of the greatest inspirations to complete this temple is Bhagavan Prabhu, was our previous spiritual leader here. And together with His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, who prior to the temple opening served as the National Secretary for South Africa. And one of the leading devotees who was instrumental in sort of managing the yatra at the same time, inspiring and pushing people on, was His Grace Tulsi Prabhu, along with Mataji Leela Devi Dasi. And our architect, Rajaram Prabhu, was here with his good wife, and their little daughter was here. I remember her name was Krishna Bhakti. And another legendary devotee, one of the first initiated by Srila Prabhupada in South Africa, His Grace Gokulendra Prabhu. His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami told me yesterday, I believe, that he's not well now. He may be leaving us soon. So let's chant Hare Krishna loudly for all of these devotees, especially Gokulendra Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then another devotee, I used to serve with, when I joined, somehow or the other when I came from Caterridge, His Grace Tulsi Prabhu took me to our head offices. We had 3 or 4 apartments in Hillary. And I used to go there every day and serve with the secretary there, her name was Rasapriya, and with Mother Leela. So he engaged me in some service there. So one day, Kamsa Hunter Prabhu came in. And, there was a bit of a negotiation in terms of a small argument, and I was in the room. And Tulsi Prabhu told him, I'm only giving you 100,000 rands to organize the entire opening of this temple. And that time 100,000 rands was a lot. But Kamsanta Prabhu was negotiating. So Kamsanta Prabhu is late now, and his good wife is Lokadristi. She was here with their children. I remember the eldest son's name is Nimai. Namacharya, yes. And Lokadristi Mataji is now somewhere in the US, living there near New Vrindavan. So we're also remembering him. And then there's another wonderful Mataji who helped us with all, that time we used to call it public relations. Now they call it, for a better term, communications. Like that. And she was here, and she stayed with us here. Her name is Jagannatheshwari Devidasi. Now she's near the manor, living near the manor. Right? Kinchana? Yeah. So then we have another devotee who was involved planning and organizing this entire internal state of this temple. With the murals, with the lighting, with everything here you see. He's from France, and he joined us here, and his name is Madhavendra Puri Prabhu. He's still with us, Maharaj? In France. Yeah. And another Mataji was the mother of us. I joined here 40 odd years ago, 3 years ago, and she cooked for us practically every day. And Srila Prabhupada sent her initially. She's from France also, but she was initiated by Prabhupada in 1969 in London. And Prabhupada sent her to become the wife of Ananta Shanti, the first devotee in Russia. And she came here and did so much of service. Without her, we wouldn't have got Samshas Prasad right here during the construction site. You may know her. Her name is Mother Mandakini. She used to be here. Wonderful devotee. Amazing devotee. And another devotee who now lives in Mayapur, almost for years now, but before that in Vrindavan. She was practically the manager of something I'm about to say now. We had a series of shops, and the names were Quality Fine Arts and ISKCON Art Deca. Maybe we probably remember something like 15 shops or so? 17. Oh, Govardhan Seva remembers that. 17 shops. And Vishaka Priya was managing them, right? Or one of the managers for these shops. Yeah. Now, I'd like to make a statement. I used to serve with Tulsi in 1984 in that office in Hillary. Somehow he got me there, And one day I asked Tulsi Prabhu, Prabhupada said it was one of the best managers in ISKCON. That's what I heard. Tulsi Das Prabhu. So I asked Tulsi when the temple opened that how much of money came from the Indian community to build this temple, and how much money came, was collected otherwise to build this temple. So he said, give me 2 days. So he told Rasapriya Mataji, he's asking, so it's good to know, like that. So I believe he may have said that 70% of the Lakshmi to build this temple came from these businesses. and from the devotees who went out. And only 30%, especially with Shyamal Prabhu, Tribhanga Sundar Prabhu, came from the Indian community. Now, I don't know how much to speak about this because of lack of time. But these devotees were initiated by Srila Prabhupada. They gave the youth and young adulthood for this movement. And usually in the material world, your youth and young adulthood is used for so many other things, especially sense gratification and sinful activity. But they gave the youth and the young adulthood for this movement. And besides that, they sacrificed not preaching, but sacrificed fundraising, like selling sort of oil type of paintings from these 15 shops called ISKCON Art Deco and Quality Fine Arts. And one of them was Vishaka Priya, was managing some of these shops. And we have in our midst here, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, and also His Grace Madhavi Prabhu, and Govardhan Seva Prabhu, and many other devotees. Wearing regular clothes, pants and shirt. I remember seeing them with like golf type caps, right, Madhavi Prabhu? The men, yes, just to cover the seekers. And they used to come, we used to have our Mangalati below here where the DT dresses are now. That was a bigger room, they maybe put walls there now. That was our temporary temple room. And used to come for a few days and pass through and go out. So I didn't understand what they were doing. But I could understand when Tulsi Prabhu was telling me what was going on. Yeah. Literally, this Lakshmi to build this temple, 70% came from the money collected by these devotees, not as devotees. That's a huge sacrifice. That's a huge sacrifice. It's not like a regular devotional service, so to speak, but like hidden devotional service. And they surrendered. They surrendered to the authorities then. And one thing I remember carefully, His Holiness Partha Das Goswami, he had to suspend his 10 campaign program. And they made him the national Sankirtan leader. And in 1984, 1 year before the temple could open, he made it a point, because of the other authorities pushed him and said, look, you have to get everyone out to sell these paintings. It's making huge profits. We need to get this done. So he approached me. I thought I didn't sign up for this thing, like that. But he pushed me. His Holiness Partha Das Goswami. And he said, you have to wear pants and shirt. He said, you have to go to Mildresdrift. Our temple is there. Sheshinitai Gaurahari is there. You have to start doing this yourself. And I thought, wait, hold on. And let me just think about this. And he said, but one statement he made that convinced me. He said, they made me sacrifice the legendary 10 campaign, put it on hold for this. Then I agreed. And my so-called type of Sankirtan partner at that time was Sri Hari Prabhu. So he also was wearing a cap. We went out for 2 months selling these paintings. And I tell you, it was so austere, so difficult. And now when just experiencing that, I could appreciate Madhavi Prabhu. I could appreciate His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. I could appreciate Sarvakanti Mataji. Where is she? She's here? Yes. Yeah. I could appreciate Nandarani Mataji, like from Meerbank. They all went out. And our Govardhan Seva Prabhu was doing the same service, right? Paintings, paintings, paintings. And 70% of the money to build this temple came from them. I think Gokulendra Prabhu did this too. Maharaj? Yes. So you could see how they sacrificed. How they sacrificed. Ramanujacharya Prabhu, yes. Thank you. How they sacrificed. 70% of the money came here. And I got this from the head office. Because I was there in the office. Yeah. So let's chant loudly for all these devotees. So much sacrifice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you all should make sure that make sure these devotees get the best of the comforts in their elderly age now. They need it because they sacrificed, eating only practically muesli every day. Something like that made of Prabhu. So much of sacrifice. And in our midst here we have a devotee who's joined us from London. We'd like her to come over and share with us, how her services, including other devotee services, and bringing us to the point of this beautiful temple that we have built. Come, Mother Akinchana.
Thank you. Thank you, Rihat Maharaj. So, with my journey in Krishna consciousness, I have to give thanks also to Partha Maharaj. He was quite instrumental in my whole family coming to Krishna consciousness. And also Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, he was our temple president at that time, and he was very strict with sadhana, and he called it the sandwich program, morning and evening program, and remember Krishna during the day. So thank you, Maharaj, for that as well. So amongst the many things that Srila Prabhupada desired for South Africa, two important aspects that he mentioned to Radha Das in a letter. One of the things he wanted was a temple built in Durban, and the second thing he wanted preaching to the African community, which he mentioned to Radha in a letter. So I hope I have managed to make a small contribution in those two aspects. I actually joined South Africa. I joined in South Africa in Cato Ridge at the end of 1979, stayed here for 10 years until 1989, and then I moved off to London. And I have been serving in London in various capacities. First served Radhalandanishwara as a cook and pujari and taking care of the bhaktins. And then I moved to the manor.
1 minute. Is the sound okay? You want it increased? It's fine. Okay.
Worked with the communications office with my husband near the manor, and now I serve as a trustee of ISKCON UK and on the management council. So that's where I am at today. So in terms of my services in South Africa, I was actually one of the first pujaris when the temple opened. It opened with 4 pujaris. Radha, Radhanath, myself, Mahavijaya, and Jayesta. We were the 4 full-time pujaris, and then we had other pujaris who would fill in. For the actual temple opening, the GBC then was also my guru, Bhagavan Das, and he asked me to cook the rice to serve the public. When I asked him how much rice did I have to cook, he said 100 kilos. I nearly died of shock. I said to him, I haven't cooked more than half a cup of rice. How am I meant to cook 100 kilos of rice? So I left his room crying, but it was something I had to do with the help of my mother, Ramadevi Dasi. Successfully, I hope. So in terms of raising funds to build a temple, I was also part of selling paintings and collecting funds by selling Hong Kong paintings, traveling up and down the country. When I first got my driver's license, by which time Medavi Prabhu was the Sankirtan leader, and when he found out I got my driver's license, he gave me a VW Passat, which was a station wagon, and he hitched a trailer onto the back. He loaded it with paintings, and he asked me to go to Cape Town. I asked him, which way is Cape Town? There were no sat-navs in those days, and he pointed in some direction. He goes, go that way and turn right and keep going. So I thought, okay, so that's it then. A station wagon with paintings and 4 ladies. So I did stop by and buy a road map with the hopes that the ladies would navigate while I drove. And of course, none of them could read maps. That, have to say, that included myself. So it was quite a task getting to Cape Town and navigating my way through the one-way streets. But I live to tell the tale. One of my most memorable experiences of selling paintings was in Johannesburg. I had an exhibition set up. That's what we did in supermarkets during the day. We set up an exhibition and would sell to whoever came by. And in the evenings, we would go door to door. So one day I had a, very tall Afrikaner guy approach the table, and he was flipping through. And he decided he liked too many. So he asked me, would you come to my place of work? And I asked him, where is your place of work? And he said, it's at the prison. I said, okay. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, but 3 of us went there. And we left one lady in the car, and I said to her, if we don't return in an hour, then you need to do something about it. So 2 of us took the role of paintings, and we went in. And quite to my amazement, the guy bought 30. And then he asked me, can I give you the money in cash? And I said, well, a check would be preferable. But he was insistent on giving it in cash. So we counted the money, put it in a plastic bag, got to the car. It was actually Nama Chintamani and myself. We got to the car, and we were afraid, really afraid, driving with a bag full of money, like cash. And we couldn't bank it because it was Saturday afternoon. So we banked it on the Monday. So the story of cash in plastic bags doesn't end there. At one point, Tulsi Prabhu asked me to set up an office in Johannesburg. He said, what Rasapriya does in Durban, can you do the same in Johannesburg? And I said, sure, but I'll need some training. So he sent me for a week's crash course to Rasapriya, how to run and manage the office in Johannesburg. So I got there, and the first Friday, many of the devotees came back with their collections of cash and checks. And, anyway, we had no safe, and I had to keep the money in a plastic bag all weekend until the Monday again. Amongst the many services that I did here, one of the most memorable was preaching in the prisons, a program that I pioneered in 1983, and I continued until 1989 when I went to the UK. It started off with 1 prisoner, and eventually the program grew from 1 prison to 5 different prisons where prisoners were chanting Hare Krishna. And on one occasion, he read in one of the Back to Godhead magazines that I left them that they should eat vegetarian food. And he asked me, how can you eat vegetarian food? I said, well, it's difficult in prison because you just have meat and potatoes and bread. So maybe you can leave the meat out, offer your bread and your potatoes to Krishna, and in that way you're still eating prasadam. but that was not good enough for him. So the entire prison went on a fast. They decided they will not eat anything until they had vegetarian food. So I got a desperate call. I was Pujari here at Radhanath temple. I got a desperate call from the head of the prison in Johannesburg, and they said, "Can you come immediately, because you are the only one who can do anything about it. We can't stop them. They haven't eaten for a week." So Nandakumar bought me a ticket and flew me to Johannesburg. So when I got there, I thought it's a good time for negotiation and for bargaining, because they put so many stumbling blocks in my preaching in the prisons there. So I said to them, it is their prerogative. If they choose to have vegetarian food, I think you're obligated to provide it. And I mean, it wasn't easy negotiations. Another tall Afrikaner, intimidating 6'3" guy, and me, a tiny little Indian girl who comes from Tonga, negotiating in the heights of apartheid. So it wasn't easy, but I managed to negotiate vegetarian food for the prisoners. Thank you.
So we want to send some gifts to the UK, to London. We're going to send one of these to Mother Jayastham there, and the other one to Mother Jagannatheshwari. Who else is there? And one for you.
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. So you can take it for us. Hey Grace Kinchana Devidasi Ki. Okay. I just want to mention other names now, and then we'll move along. One of our past temple presidents was quite involved also with ICAP, Indian Community Affairs Program, with Shyamlal Prabhu and Tribanga Sundar Prabhu is our Nandakumar Prabhu, our previous president. Nandakumar Prabhu ki. And then along with Tribanga Sundar Prabhu was also involved in selling paintings is Mother Divya Rupa Prabhu. She was also doing these paintings. And then our Ananda Chandrika Mataji, who served in so many capacities, from Keteridge and then coming here before the temple opened. And then I mentioned earlier how Sri Hari Prabhu was my painting Sangitan part. But he was staying on the temple premises during the construction time in very meager circumstances, sometimes just living in the, what do you call that thing? It's like a makeshift room or something. Cabins something. Yeah, he used to stay there and take his bath with a hose pipe and then continue in the construction. That's Sri Hari Prabhu. And our own Radhanath Mataji was involved so much here from Keteridge. And I was remembering Nandarani, she's from Maybank. And we want to send a video for her also. Who can take this video for Nandarani Mataji? Anyone? Where's Smita Krishna Prabhu? Can you forward this? Speak to Radhanath Mataji. She can give this video as a token from the management to Nandarani Mataji. And then our very own Sarvakanti. She was interviewed about the temple already, so she said she won't be able to come forward and speak today. Where's Sarvakanti? Somewhere. Okay, she's here. Sarvakanti, you can sit, it's okay. Thank you, Sarvakanti. Let's chant for these wonderful devotees who are in our midst in South Africa and in other places. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And our Nama Chintamani, who Akinchana mentioned, she's quite in an elderly age and we should also pray for her. She's living in an apartment near the Bhaktivedanta Hospital near Mumbai in a place called Meera Road. So we should also remember her. And there's one more person. When this gate comes down on the altar, the gate, you've seen it, right? And they have these beautiful peacocks and so forth. So there was one devotee who was here, and when I asked him, why do you work so hard at one time? He said, I'm a donkey. I work at hard as a donkey. He was like that. He was very outspoken about himself in a way. Yeah. And his good wife, Bhakti Mataji, she was one of our cooks also. She used to send all the prasad for us at the head office in Hillary, cooked for all of us, the Bhakti. And it's none other than Radha Raman Prabhu. He's late now. Yeah. And everything that's got to do with welding, that was him. Got to do with welding, that was him. He was famous for using a cowboy hat. He loved it. Somehow he loved it. And he was one of our own security guards here. He used to carry a gun all the time. But amazing, they worked hard like anything. So, because over the week we were having so many other speakers, Ramanujacharya Prabhu didn't get an opportunity to speak, during this time. Give the mic. Can we get a microphone to Maharaj, please? Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Important thing about Radha Raman is that he was working. In fact, he was the one who made the gate. He had almost finished, and one day, using some sort of metal cutting, device, machine, he cut off one of his fingers off.
I remember that.
Not just, a bit of skin, but the actual finger gone. And he went to the hospital, got it sort of bound up. He was back a few hours later the same day, working on the gate with the same machine.
Right. His Grace Radha Raman Prabhu ki. His Grace Bhakti Devi Dasi ki. Okay. So, how many minutes we have for the Pushpa Abhishek to begin? Whatever I take, or we take. Okay. Good. Who said that? No, we're going to override the temple president today. So let's hear from Ramanujacharya Prabhu, because he didn't speak in the last 10 days. He was sick. Please come. I know. Yes.
Hare Krishna. While we are waiting for Ramanujacharya Prabhu to be seated, we know there's a lot of devotees standing in the doorway there, and if you want to, there's some space in the aisle here in the middle. You can come through and sit there, and some of the Prabhus who are there can also join up on that side.
And remember what happened to Hiranyakashipu. Remember what happened to Hiranyakashipu. Don't stand in the doorway.
If you could just also make some space here, just a little, so people can come through. Thank you very much. Please come through, Madhajis, there in this aisle, and then you can fill up here as well.
Okay. We still have a slideshow to go, and there's one message came in from His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu. He just came in. So video, video? Okay, so we'll have to, just last three things. Ramanujachaparu Prabhu will speak, and then Swarup Damodar Prabhu's message on video, and His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami will take us through some construction slides and so forth, and then we'll go to the Pushpa Abhishek. Is that okay, Deva Prabhu, with your kind blessings and permission? Okay, you are one of the board members, right? Anandamai, Krishna? Good, right? Thank you. They blessed us. They can fight with me later. Yes, Ramanujacharya Prabhu, please share some wisdom and inspiration of how this temple came about, as well as encourage the devotees and
I'd like to say something. All the devotees here and the temple, not just here but throughout South Africa, this is also all the mercy and energy of Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
If it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada, we wouldn't be here. And so many thousands of devotees all over the world, and books. And Prabhupada was expert at everything. He was first of all, he's a pure devotee, a Shaktiavash avatar, but he was a very good cook. He was a good manager. He knew how to clean. He was a good musician. And he was a good preacher. And I was speaking with Jayadvaita Swami. He was an expert Brahmin, expert Kshatriya, for being a good manager. He was a Vaishya because he actually had studied economics and knew how to manage money. And he was a Shudra, being a servant, especially of his Guru Maharaj. So Prabhupada was expert at everything. And we are all a manifestation of his mercy. Srila Prabhupada ki. So I joined in San Francisco. In 1969, I was initiated by Prabhupada. In 1970, and I joined in San Francisco. I was initiated in 1970 in Los Angeles. Then eventually in 1972, Karandar, who was the president in LA, sent me to India. I served with Gargamuni in Calcutta for a year, but I was there for about a year and a half in India. Then my visa ran out, and I was sent to Nairobi, where I was also there about a year and a half. And then I told the temple president, Chavan, I said, I'm really tired of the third world, I want to go back to America. So then Chavan said, why don't you go to South Africa? It's just like America. So in a roundabout way, I ended up in South Africa. At that time, South Africa and India didn't have diplomatic relations.
What year was that?
When I went here?
You came to South Africa?
74.
Good. The year before Prabhupada came.
74. And I had to go via Zambia, and then I went to Malawi, and then I came to Zimbabwe. At that time was known as Rhodesia. And I got my visa for South Africa there. On the visa form, they asked, are you of pure European descent? So I came here, and at that time, Pushta Krishna Prabhu was in charge. And we had a center in a white area. The older devotees know what I'm talking about. Under apartheid, they were very strict about keeping people in different categories. On Muller Street in Yeovil in Johannesburg. And Pushta Krishna was a very good manager. He went around. It was like a middle class area, and he went to all the neighbors and told everybody all about Krishna consciousness so they wouldn't be alarmed. And we had soundproofed the big front window so we could have our kirtans and it wouldn't emanate too strongly and disturb the neighbors. We made life members in Fordsburg. I was doing it. Parthasarathi Maharaj was there. And Pushta Krishna it took him 2 years to get Srila Prabhupada's visa. I need to get some water. Rasoham apsukonteya.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Huh? I've got 1 more minute? Okay. So Prabhupada came.
Jai.
Tell me how many seconds.
So Pushta Krishna Prabhu took 2 years to get Prabhupada's visa.
Yeah, he took 2 years because India and South Africa didn't have diplomatic relations. And the Indian passport said on it, valid for all countries except South Africa.
Jai.
But when Prabhupada finally came, you see those pictures? There's a picture of Prabhupada sitting on a lawn chair in front of the temple in Muller Street. And that was a white area, and Prabhupada was non-white, which was illegal. But Prabhupada didn't care, we didn't care. And in that, Harikesh came as Prabhupada's secretary, Bhargava came as the photographer, and Rukma and I cooked for Prabhupada. Partha Maharaj was the pujari for Gaur Nitai. And we went to a lot of programs with Srila Prabhupada, and it was wonderful. So most of these talks have been about the opening of the temple. I thought I would speak a little bit about when Prabhupada was here. When Prabhupada was here, and some of you have heard this story already, Harikesh came and he said, Srila Prabhupada, for breakfast, he wants puffed rice and peas cooked in a karai. But we were in a white area. There were no Indian shops. I said, well, we can't get puffed rice in this area. He said, just get some Rice Krispies. So we made Rice Krispies and peas. And after a while, Prabhupada wanted to know what the Rice Krispies were. We showed him the box. But by that time, we got the puffed rice from Fordsburg. And then Rukma had learned to cook from Kirtanananda. And Rukma was Prabhupada really liked his kachoris. Not what we call kachoris, but it's like a flying saucer type pastry. with a urad dal paste in it. And so he learned from Kirtanananda. Kirtanananda learned from Prabhupada. And Prabhupada liked his kachoris very much. So then I was making chapatis for every day for Prabhupada. And they had to puff up like a balloon. And Prabhupada would smash it down with his hand. And he had a little bowl of ghee. And with the ghee, he put it around on the top of the chapati. And with the back of the spoon, he was eating 4 chapatis every day. And he was taking tur dal, oil dal. No rice for lunch. So I had some association previously with Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles and San Francisco and Calcutta and Mayapur. But we had a lot of association with Srila Prabhupada. And so Srila Prabhupada, he was like the sun. We say this Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. So Prabhupada was like the sun. He would light up the room. He would light up our lives. And he's responsible for this whole movement all over the world. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Ramanuja Acharya Prabhu ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki. So at this point we'd like to ask Govardhan Seva Prabhu to come and share some wisdom with us in his service in the yatra. He's known previously as Balabhadra and then previously as Ishvaku. So come. I'm not sure. Did you get this before? This video? It's for you.
Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Picharne Nirvasesha Sunyavali Kasyata De Satarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My respectful obeisances, Vanchakalpatrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhabhivacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo, Vaishnavabhyo, Namo Namaha. I would like to begin by thanking Deva Deva for personally inviting me to this program. My prayer is, I wish Deva Deva becomes the best temple president we've ever had. That is my ardent prayer.
Jai.
I've already seen his unique qualities. When he was the head pujari, we saw the deities actually smiling. Everyone would come for the different festivals and see the opulent outfits that the deities were bedecked in, all due to Deva Deva's influence. So, Deva Deva, thank you. Thank you, Maharajas.
Where's Deva Deva? He's hiding. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in the right place. Okay.
So, I've been given 5 minutes, but my story is a long story. I don't know if I can finish it in 5 minutes.
Try.
Maharaj.
Start. It's okay.
I will start. Okay, our journey began in the late 70s. The first devotee, Ramanuja Prabhu mentioned about Rukma Prabhu, the first devotee I met in Grey Street in the 70s, late 70s, was Rukma Prabhu. And Rukma Prabhu, in those days, was the days of apartheid. And it happened to be a holiday. And Grey Street was a very famous area in those days, and especially Popatla Alkara. And here was Rukma Prabhu. He had the whole windows displayed with Krishna pictures because it was a holiday and the shop was closed. So I don't know, for some reason or the other, I drove into the city and I got attracted to one of those pictures of Bal Gopal, and I purchased one, still have it. So that was my first contact with a Vaishnava. Then later on, I was introduced to this process of Krishna consciousness by my sister, who happened to be the mother-in-law of Go Premananda. Yeah. And she gave us some books. And yeah, the journey began from there. And then after some time, the devotees came to know us, especially Japamala Prabhu, and we became his agent, my family and I, and we were distributing. In those days, we had the spiritual sky incense, which was very famous, and it was being manufactured in Catoridge. So main source of income in those days was the spiritual sky incense. We didn't have much paraphernalia in those days. So, yeah, after some time, because we were distributing this incense and other paraphernalia that we used to buy from the Indian shops in Prince Edward Street, like Manilal Ratanji and company, then I decided to invest some of our money. And I spent 500 rands, and I printed these Hare Krishna stickers.
Oh, that was quite famous then, yes.
And together with the Hare Krishna stickers, I spent another 500 rands, and I made key holders. And we distributed this. Both Jamuna Seva, she was known as Draupadi at the time, we distributed these key holders and the stickers. And we raised lots of money. Unfortunately, we did not get receipt for all the income that we generated. Sorry, I can't find the key holder. But it had a picture of Prabhupada at the back and Balkrishna. So we generated a lot of funds like that. And then around 81, 82, we had a major catastrophe in South Africa. Jayatirtha Prabhu, who was the initiating spiritual master, decided to leave. In those days, there was a word that was used in ISKCON called bloop. So he actually blooped. And the reasons was actually unknown to the South African Yatra. I later learned from Keshava, Krishna Prabhu, who happened to be from the manor, what was actually going on in the manor with Jayatirtha Prabhu. And there was a split. And a lot of ardent followers of Jayatirtha decided to follow him. And there was Parthasarathi Maharaj, who was all on his own, was canvassing on Srila Prabhupada's behalf. So we had one group who was canvassing for Jayatirtha Prabhu, and Parthasarathi Maharaj was canvassing for His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. who emerged victorious ultimately. And all those who decided to follow Jayatita Prabhu fell by the wayside and they never recovered. So they did not become part of ISKCON. Whereas for some reason or the other, by the influence of His Holiness Parthasarathi Maharaj, we still remained loyal. And here we are today, still loyal to Srila Prabhupada. So the next devotee I met who came into our lives was Tribhanga Prabhu, and he was doing the big brick program, brick by a brick. For every 10 rand, we give a receipt. So we collected a lot of money like that for Tribhanga Prabhu. And then later on, Sri Hari Prabhu came, and they were selling Eastern garments. I don't know if you remember any of y'all. So we were also doing sales for Sri Hari Prabhu. And then in 1983, we decided to, my family and myself, 3 children, we decided to move into the Cato Ridge ashram. And when we moved there, I would like to mention 2 devotees that will inspire all of us. So I became the driver. At that time, Kala Prabhu was in charge with Mother Yashomati, Canadian devotees. And I became the driver of 2 Matajis. They were very young, Mother Bhagwati and Divya Rupa. These 2 devotees, I would drive them into Central Devon every day, from Monday to Saturday. And these 2 devotees used to collect with a board. You know what I'm talking about. They would take a board and go and approach people and collect donation. Believe it or not, these 2 devotees maintain Cato Ridge Temple and the Yatra because Tulsidas was a kanjus. You know what's a kanjus? A very miserly person. He never gave money for Cato Ridge. All the money that was collected, he would utilize for the building, for the construction. He wanted...
1 minute. Incidentally, Mother Bhagavati, she stays in Dallas now. She's still there with us. And Divya Rupa is the Patni, wife of Tribhanga Sundar Prabhu. Go ahead.
So these 2 devotees, they worked so hard, tirelessly. Every day they would go out and collect money. So Cato Ridge had Shishi Nitai Gaurani. There were lots of devotees which needed maintenance. There were cows, the Goshala, that needed maintenance. And then there was a Sunday feast. All this required Lakshmi. So these 2 devotees actually maintained the yatra. How inspiring is that? Who would do that on a daily basis? It's very applaudable. But nobody has ever mentioned this to devotees before. I just thought it should be mentioned, it should be known. And then shortly after that, it was the July Marathon. And another drama took place. Kala Prabhu had instructed myself to be a driver again for Mother Akinchana, for Mother Lalita, and Nandarani. And we were to go to Johannesburg to do the marathon for 6 weeks. Can you imagine one married man with 3 young ladies? So we went to Johannesburg to collect, and we were given strict instruction by Tulsidas not to tackle the life members. Yeah. So for 6 weeks I was with these Matajis. There were times we had to sleep in the vehicle because there was no permanent residence for us. We would drive into the caravan park. In those days, in the apartheid days, there were caravan parks for the white people. So we would drive there in the night, no security. Security would be sleeping because the advantage of the caravan park, it had an ablution block and it had shower facilities. So excuse me. So 6 weeks was spent like that. And it was very austere, but we managed. The three ladies, two of them are present here today. Nandanani is not here. They managed to collect 14,000 rands in the 6 weeks. And I, who was the driver, managed to just collect over 1,000 rands. So altogether we collected 15 grands. And then after that, Bhagavan Prabhu, who had become in charge, we had a grand festival in Kaitaridge. And after the festival, I got my marching orders from Kaitaridge. And I was sent to Jai Shri Radha Radhanath ki Jai, Gurunga Mahaprabhu ki, Giriraj Govardhan ki, Prabhupada ki Jai. I was sent to Kailami. We had a preaching center. We had a business house in Kailami. All right. And I must mention our main contributor for this wonderful temple is none other than Gokulendra Prabhu. He was the greatest inspiration, who inspired this business, who opened this business houses, the galleries, the factories. And it is because of him today, Gokulendra Prabhu, and the manager was Tulsi Das, that we are actually sitting in Shri Shri Radha Radhanath today.
Praise Gokulendra Prabhu ki.
And I want to make mention of two names who were main contributors beside Gokulendra Prabhu. Was Shamlal Prabhu. Shamlal Prabhu was collecting from the Indian community. Like Brihat Mridanga Maharaj was mentioning, 70% of the income came from the business. But Shamlal's income, his collection was 100%. Why? Because it's pure profit. It was pure profit. So we don't realize this, how much seva, beside the preaching, Shamlal Prabhu actually did. And then another wonderful devotee, who was one of the largest distributor of the paintings, was none other than Maydevi Prabhu. Maydevi Prabhu ki jai. He was the avatar. He was the main sales personnel amongst us all. We all contributed a little, but Maydevi Prabhu stood out. Yes. We don't want to belittle Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj, Ramanuja Prabhu. They did a bit, but Maydevi Prabhu really excelled when it came to doing sales, painting sales.
Also, they were partners.
No.
Bhakti Chaitanya Swami and Maydevi Prabhu,
No.
I remember. They traveled together.
Yeah. So
They gave each other association in the spirit of the service. Go ahead.
So, yes, Maydevi Prabhu was the main source and a great inspiration for all of us. So I want to end here. I have limited time. I did, together with my family, we did our little part. I want to make mention about something very important. Won't take 1 minute. In 1990, I was based in Muldersdrift. We decided to relocate to Durban. And Durban temple had a debt of 90,000 rands from the temple opening. And they were paying 4,000 rands overdraft every month. So when I came, Nandakumar Prabhu was in charge. And he approached me and he said, if I can help in any way to settle this debt. So I said, yes. And it was time for the Grand Ranch Show. We used to do the Grand Ranch Show. And I took two ladies, Ambika and Mother Sachi. And within 2 weeks, believe it or not, we paid off the debt.
Hare Krishna.
So, my small contribution, together with my family, I sit here today to tell this history. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the Vaishnavas. I'm here today because of them. And our wonderful Guru Maharaj, Parthasarathi Goswami Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Grace Govardhan Seva Prabhu ki. His Holiness Parthasarathi Das Goswami ki. Ananta Godi Vaishnava Vranda ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. There are two devotees, Priya Kishori and Radhanath Prabhu. Where are you? If you want to speak more of the memoirs, you should also interview our Govardhan Seva Prabhu so we can have more and more churning of that, because he has much more to say. Thank you very much. So there's one last item on our presentation, which is a 10-minute presentation by His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. But before Maharaj does that and we wind up to go to the Pushpanjali celebrations for their Lordship Shri Shri Radhanath, Sriman Mahaprabhu and I just want to wind up from my side and Maharaj can conclude from his side. There's two greatest of personalities that I want to mention. And you should know that my first Istadev, or all our first Istadevs, and the first large deities practically in the whole of Africa, except for Shri Radhabanki Bihari that Prabhupada personally brought to Nairobi, in terms of Shri Nitai Gaura Hari. So they were our first Istadevs in Cato Ridge. Now, everyone sacrificed to build this temple. However, I want to especially mention that Shri Nitai Gaura Hari also sacrificed so much. Practically speaking, we had to sell the farm to move here, and then move Shri Nitai Gaura Hari to Mildersdrift, and that was not sufficient. Then we moved them to Hillbrow, and then we moved Shri Nitai Gaura Hari to one small academy building in Lenasia, and then finally to the current location in Lenasia. We have somewhat of a temple, like that. So I personally feel that Shri Nitai Gaura Hari, they sacrificed devotee resources. They sacrificed giving up their nice place at the farm in Cato Ridge to build this magnificent, beautiful palace for Shri Shri Radhanath. They have somewhat of a building there, but not as grand as this, like that. So hopefully my prayer that in the future, the future generation of devotees should also build a palace for Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari. They've been like going on traveling Sankirtan, from Cato Ridge to Mildersdrift to Hillbrow, then one small place, some dance academy place in Lenasia, and then one smaller place, which is much smaller than this. So they really sacrificed for us. So if you get the chance, when you're in the area of Gauteng, please go and take the blessings and mercy and thank them for their sacrifice to build this palace for Shri Shri Radhanath, including the devotee resources and Lakshmi. Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari ki. So the last part of the presentation, assisted by Champakalata Mataji with Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. You can come over here to the stage, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much to His Holiness Bhakti Brihat Bhagavat Swami for facilitating the session. Let's have a round of applause for him. So before Marge gets underway with that, I just need a minute. Given the fact that Marge has asked for devotees to submit further names to him, and I gave my phone number, there was a flurry of messages. So unfortunately, I'm sure we may not be able to mention everybody, but at least these names that came to me can be mentioned in front of the deities. So Nanda Kumar Prabhu, a former temple president. Then there's Jivananda Prabhu. He's here, and his father who drove Srila Prabhupada from the airport. Ramal Prabhu is here, of the Bhagwandin family, of the Railway Hotel fame. They hosted Janmashtami programs in the hotel before the temple was even built. So both there and the Ashoka Hotel also, where Partha Maharaj pitched up when the tent in the tent campaign collapsed in Reservoir Hills. And they had the program in the hotel. 1978, we had Govinda Kund and Mukara of the Nordin fame, where this Krishna consciousness really blossomed. Manjari Mataji and Kishore Gopal and Mother Palika and Dhruvananda. Hema Gauri Mataji from Meerbank. And Mother Ramadevi, Mr. and Mrs. Babulal Rajkumar family, who used to cook for the devotees in Caterage. Lokabandhu Prabhu, the first principal who had deities in his office. And of course, as was mentioned, the famous Mr. Raj Bansi, who helped to keep the devotees in South Africa and make sure there's Krishna consciousness. So all the other names who have not been mentioned here, we're sorry that all of you could not be listed, but please submit those names anyway to me, and we will have them as a wall of fame in front of the deities.
We'd like to interview all those devotees on video. So where's Radharaman Prabhu and Priya Kishori? Where are you? Are you here? To the front? Come through. Come that way. So these two devotees are interviewing those early devotees, and we want to capture that. All these historical facts. And I may want to encourage Champakalata. Maybe you have to start writing this book, as everyone is saying. Because you have all the photographs with your father and the family. So compile it together, I'll assist you with it. Like in historical context. We want to interview all these devotees from the Bhagwandin family to whoever you have mentioned now. So this is Priya Kishori. And if you need a phone number, talk to Smita Krishna Prabhu. Interviews can happen throughout this year. We need this historical event penned down with all the pictures. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki. So that finally the slideshow will come on with the nice remembrances of our temple prior to the temple opening and the temple opening itself.
After Marge's presentation, I will one instruction that has come from the deity department. So I'll tell you that then.
Oh, okay. Yes, well, here we go, devotees, and there you can see Shri Radha Radhanath temple, sort of, half constructed. You can see the main dome there is just bare bricks. It hasn't been finished like the other two domes on the right. There are no windows, and in fact, over in the, what do they call it? Anyway, the first tent actually on the left, right at the back, I think it is, the youth booth. It has quite a number of photos of the temple building at different stages of its construction. Okay, so here we go. This is now on the opening day in 1985. And, it may look fairly impressive, but there were, like later on in the evening, there was a lot more people. And as someone mentioned, who was it? I forget, but someone mentioned that, who was it who came in the helicopter? Oh, Srinathji, right. And he took this photo, in fact, from the helicopter. But a bit later on, Chatsworth, the Higginson Highway and all the roads, 301, 601, and just everything, it was all blocked. And people were watching the fireworks display from their motor cars because, they were just stuck on the road. It was a big event. The estimate is that on this day, the actual main opening day, 120,000 people came. Yes, okay, so here we are. And this is the fire yajna. Actually, it went on for 3 days, all day for 3 days, and then into the evening. This appears to be the evening. I don't think does the the infrared gizmo work? No, it doesn't. Anyway, you see they're kind of just to the left of center, sitting down there with the yellow dhoti. This is Gaurkeshava Prabhu from Australia. He was the chief priest. Then to our right of him is Mahavidya Prabhu, and just next to him, who's that? That's Shri Radha Radhanath there. And just past them, you see the 2 arms sticking up. That's Lord Chaitanya. So this is all part of the installation process. It was a real major event. And on our far right is a devotee whose name I forget. Who is it? No, it's someone from somewhere, yeah, not local. So, okay, here we go, next slide. Okay, oh, well, there you see. Now, this is just in front of the main stage. We had this super ginormous tent. You know what they say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound is quite atrocious. But anyway, it's from my childhood, by the way. But this huge tent, it pretty much covered the entire car park. I mean, at least 90% of the car park. So the stages there, you can see the blue cloth going across. And then just above that, that's the actual stage. And here is, the different things are going on there in regard to the installation of the deities. Radha Radhanath on our right with their eyes closed. Lord Chaitanya kind of in the center. And on the left is Srila Prabhupada. And Gaurkeshava you can see on our right. And just on the edge of the picture is Mahavidya Prabhu, the late Mahavidya. I don't think so. I'm not sure who it is. Maybe it's Madhavi Prabhu. Doesn't look like him to me. I know him pretty well. Maybe. Okay, let's see. So here we go. There's Bhagavan Prabhu on the left, Gaurkeshava with the yellow dhoti, and of course you can see Radha Radhanath and Lord Chaitanya there. And here another view. Gaurkeshava is bathing Srimati Radharani, pouring the liquid into the conch shell. And then from there it's just like a constant stream coming onto Srimati Radharani and Bhagavan Prabhu is watching. And that's Bhagavan Prabhu offering the first arti, offering the first arti to Radha Radhanath on our right, and then Lord Chaitanya with Gaurkeshava behind him. Gaurkeshava, he's a very active devotee nowadays, and he is like a specialist, super duper specialist in Brahminical activities and mantras, yantras, and tantras, and all related matters. Yeah, okay. And there's Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta right in front of Lord Chaitanya, and Srila Gokishore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta on our far right. Okay. There's Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj on our left with that sort of dark jacket. Oh, and that is Madhavi Prabhu, isn't it? My apologies. It is Madhavi Prabhu with that bathing Srila Prabhupada. And there's His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj also participating in the program. And I think that on the far right, if I remember correctly, this is Ramdas Abhiram Prabhu, the late Ramdas Abhiram Prabhu, who was a great artist for the BBT. Okay. So, well, here they go, blowing the conchas and it's all happening there. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, Gaurkeshava, Mahavijaya Prabhu on our right. Prabhupada is there, of course. Oh, yes. And here is Bhagavan, of course, on our right. On our left is Raj Ram Prabhu, who designed, then did the architectural drawings, then did the engineering drawings, and then became the head of the construction. Talk about an all-rounder. So he's just discussing things with Bhagavan Prabhu, and that's Giriraj Maharaj in between them. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj you can see on our far left. And here is Bhagavan with Mr. Bhuttalesi. And on our left is, of course, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And Mr. Bhuttalesi, he was really deeply affected by the whole event. In fact, he got up and he bowed down and offered obeisances to Bhagavan Prabhu. Yeah, first devotee program that he'd ever attended. He was studying in London, and there was like a devotee from one of the Desai families, Gujarati families, from Durban. They were studying together in London, and this devotee, or friend of the devotees even really, he convinced Bhuttalesi that go to the program, go on. Because Bhuttalesi didn't know, should he come or not? Would it be suitable, or would it be something just not his cup of herbal tea? So, but he got convinced, and he was happy. He was just really happy. And for that matter, from that time, 1985, he just regularly came to ISKCON programs. I don't know how many, but I would say a few dozen, actually. Rath Yatras. He came to, there was one drama we did, the kidnapping of Rukmini in the playhouse. He came to that, and numerous other events. And let's see. Okay. Now here is the mayor of Durban, Mr. I don't know his name. Olivia. This is not Mr. Olivia. This is the mayor of Durban. In fact, I had to meet and greet, when he rolled up. And you can see he's got his ornamental, decorative metal type of necklace garland on. And he was just, he was not ready culturally for the event. But, he was sort of, what would you say, diplomatically pleasant. And he participated. I showed him around everything, and yeah. And on our left, who's that with the black suit on and with the garland on? It's Mr. Raj Bansi. Give him a round of applause, please. Because Haribol. I don't think he was Bengali, but Bihari Tiger, maybe. But back in whatever it was, what was it, 80, I think it was 1980 actually, due to certain things that happened, unfortunately, well, we had a policy, let us start with that people like me, like Madhavi Prabhu, we agreed to come and help spread Krishna consciousness in South Africa. And we all came with 3-month visas. And then we extended to 6 months. And then, well, we just thought it was such a nice place. Let's just stay on. So there were about 25 of us, non-South Africans, and we were all, at least a good few of us, were the senior devotees, really, in ISKCON in South Africa. And it ended up there were about 25 of us here illegally, including me. I was the first one to get arrested. What an honor. Anyway. So normally, maybe I shouldn't say it, but in a normal country, but anyway, in most countries, if you've just obviously and blatantly overstayed your visa and just, sort of thumbed your nose at the government, they just ship you out the same day, on a one-way ticket out to, whatever country your passport's from. But Mr. Raj Bansi, he stepped forward. Did he ever? And he negotiated with the Afrikaans apartheid government, and every single one of us, 25 or so devotees, we were all allowed to stay, and we all got work permits. And by the arrangements of Mr. Raj Bansi, it's a fact. So, he was a character. We're all characters. And he was definitely a character. But he did some very substantial service for Srila Prabhupada. Yes, sir. He arranged the land for the temple, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And for the Phoenix Temple, New Jagannath Puri. Yes. Okay. And then on our left of Mr. Raj Bansi, who is that? Is that Mr. Reddy or? No. It's JN? Mr. What's his name? What's Hindi for carrot? Gaja. Mr. Gajra. Okay. The Hindu Mahasabha president. Okay. Haribol. Anyway, yeah, president of Hindu Mahasabha. Right. And then, of course, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, Mr. Buttalezi. Oh, okay. And in the background there with the chamara. Oh, yes. It's Shrutakirti Prabhu. Haribol. Just for your information, not this Shrutakirti who's with us here. He's a local Shrutakirti. He was temple president here and in Cape Town. And he really did a lot of service. And when that split happened, I mean, you could say it was a split that Govardhan Seva Prabhu referred to. The people on the other side, the non-Prabhupada side, they cornered him and they tried to influence him to join them, but he wouldn't. He wanted to stick with Srila Prabhupada, Shrutakirti Prabhu. Yeah. So, okay. Oh, here's Mr. Raj Bansi. And of course the other devotees people who you know now. Oh, and look at that. It's me. Maybe I was. Oh, there's Shamal Prabhu. Look at that. Right behind Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. That's a fact.
That's you on the left.
Me on the left. Oh, yeah, look at that. I slipped in there. But isn't that behind Mr. Bhutamesi? Isn't that Diana, the driver? Not. Okay. Anyway, from Glencoe, Hari Mohan, what was his name? Hari Mohan. Anyway, he was a leading devotee from Glencoe. Unfortunately, passed away. But he was really nice. Hari Chandan? No. Okay, anyway, next slide. So there's Giriraj Maharaj on the left, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Then, it's Shrutakirti there, sitting down. And looks like Bhagavan Prabhu is speaking. It was mentioned, someone mentioned how Giriraj Maharaj became regional secretary or national secretary. Actually, he came with Bhagavan. The two were deputed. They were both GBC members at the time. They were both deputed to come here as co-GBCs. But Giriraj Maharaj, understanding the, what shall we say, I don't know, domineering nature perhaps, to be kind of frank, of Bhagavan Prabhu, he thought that let Bhagavan Prabhu be the GBC and he would take the sort of quote-unquote lesser role of being national secretary until Bhagavan Prabhu exited at some point in 86. Okay, well, there they are, look, cutting the ribbon. There's Mr. Bhutalesi on the left, Mr. Raj Bansi, Bhagavan Prabhu, and J.N. Reddy, and on the far right, our far right, the mayor. They're cutting the ribbon. Yeah. And there's Srila Prabhupada. I'm not sure, was that at that time? Coming in, okay. First darshan. And the Tribanga just in front of Prabhupada, is it? Just in front, yeah. Oh, there's Ramanuja, look at him. Super skinny. It's all prasadam. Oh, there's Harinamananda, isn't it, on the left? And Madhavi, is it? No, it's not Madhavi Prabhu. Gokulendra. Where's Gokulendra? Oh, there's Gokulendra. Yes. Just behind Harinamananda, I think it's Harinamananda. Just the second one from the left, in the front there. Gokulendra Prabhu, who did a lot of service, absolutely. Okay, let's see. Shri Radha Radhanath ke? Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ke? And Govardhan had not manifested yet, that was sometime later. But this is the first darshan, right, isn't it? Yeah, the first darshan, that same evening must be, or yeah, same evening of the installation. And you can see the old altar. We specialized in selling paintings and framing them. And devotees, would you believe, all the sort of gold, it's actually woodwork, it's all pieces of frames from our picture frame business, in fact. Yeah, put to good use. Okay. Is that it? Oh, okay. And, okay, is that the mayor? Is it the mayor? Okay, it's the mayor. And various other sort of dignitary types. And it looks like I'm saying something to them. Yeah, they're looking at the pictures. Very nice. Okay, great. And oh, prasadam. So let's see. From our left, Jagannath Eshwari Devi Dasi. Then I guess it's the wife of the mayor. And then we're coming around to the right. There's the mayor. I'm speaking to him. Behind me is Shamlal Prabhu. And in the far right is Raj Ram Prabhu. We're having like a ceremonial dinner there. Yeah, something like that. And devotees, what better way to finish than over some plates of prasadam? That's the end of the slideshow. Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Giri Govardhana ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanande.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for that tour, historical remembrance. So we're going to make those available at some stage. Probably Champaglata Mataji said she'd put it up on YouTube. You can get the links. So I need to explain to you some things for the purposes of safety in the temple as well as to be well organized. So we have these instructions. Okay. All right, let's wait. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. So we're going to do the Pushpa Abhishek, the flower festival. Now, after that's done, you'll find that the petals are, thrown generally to all of us. So please do not pick any of the petals from the floor and throw them onto Srila Prabhupada.
Make a little announcement. Now, I don't know if you're aware, maybe some of you are, that Madan Mohan Prabhu, what am I doing? Anyway, can you just take that? Okay. He has been undertaking, I think for the last year and a half, a special program of giving these deities, you see here, of Srila Prabhupada to all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are still living. And all the disciples of Prabhupada here in South Africa do have, he's already kindly given me, and he's given Ramanuja Prabhu, Madhavi Prabhu, Parthasarathi Maharaj, and Nanda Kumar Prabhu, even Dharmadev Prabhu, have all received one of these beautiful little brass, what's the metal? Brass, deities of Srila Prabhupada. I don't want to drop them, but there you see. And Madan Mohan Prabhu, who is the one behind this whole program throughout the whole world, he has given us a couple of these to give to some devotees who are doing outstanding service here in South Africa, but who aren't Prabhupada disciples. So I am going to give one, anyway, I'm going to give one, yes. I am going to give one to His Holiness Bhakti Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj. Who has just gone downstairs anyway. We'll catch up with him. Okay, where's he gone? Oh, to his room. Okay. And the other one that we'll give today, just hold this, is to His Grace Deva Prabhu. So you take this one. I'll give Maharaj another one shortly. So yeah, we must have the third one.
Yes.
That's Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah. Oh, that was a wonderful event in an event. Thank you very much, Marge. So the guidelines, please do not pick up flowers from the floor and throw it onto Srila Prabhupada, nor should you throw any of those flowers back in the altar area. Right? So flowers from the floor you can throw on others because of the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. So, but do not throw them on Srila Prabhupada. And keep the parikram path, which is around the altar, clear. We don't want anybody in that area. And the foyer area. Just now when we pick up the chairs, everybody will be able to come in. So keep the foyer area clear and behind the altar. When showering petals on the devotees, please do so respectfully. You get a handful of flowers in your face, I don't know how much, but do so respectfully. Thank you for your cooperation. The management is saying thank you for your cooperation and maintaining the sanctity of this occasion. So please also do some service by cleaning the temple room afterwards. Right, there's lots of brooms around. We can sweep it up, and that video of Swarup Prabhu's was going to be distributed on the WhatsApp channel. So now we're going to ask you to please rise. There are some devotees that are going to help us stack the chairs, as well as pull the carpet out from under your feet. So they're going to do that, and they're going to roll it up. So please move off the carpets. And if somebody is pulling it out, don't mind.